it is me, Miniature Molly, and welcome back to my channel. It has been a really long time. I know I probably sound like a broken record because I feel like my last couple intros that I have done, I actually have said pretty much the same thing where I plan to get back into recording and I'm still on my health journey and so many things like that. We moved and I'm finally settling into our house. Currently, I'm sitting in my office right now and have everything kind of set up in my office, and I'm really loving that. Pardon the echo because it is a little echoey in here. There's not a lot of stuff going on in my office yet. But as I continue to decorate and put things up, I'm sure the echo will start to go down. So yes, and I feel like I'm starting to balance motherhood and moving and everything along with that, and things are starting to get into a routine. So as routine is recreated, I'll have more opportunities to invest in recording and more opportunities to kind of share with you guys how my journey is going. So where I left off, we'll get to in another video, but I know that as Christmas is coming to an end and the New Year's is about to start, New Year's resolutions are coming up and you're probably thinking about creating them. And let me just tell you what I think of New Year's resolutions. To be completely honest with you, I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. I believe that people make New Year's resolutions and expect themselves to be able to hold up a stamina of trying to get or create or get to a goal so quickly that they run out of steam so fast that they only end up doing it for maybe the month of January, and then by the time February comes, they're like, nope, not anymore, or even less time than that. As I have learned through my health journey, this isn't Amazon. You don't get Prime shipping. You don't get to your goals the next day right after you start something. But I learned that you make micro goals within your big goal, and you end up being able to reach those big goals and achieve the things that you want to achieve by just working really hard and putting in the effort daily and not just an overnight. So that is what I'm learning. That is what I wanted to share. And I'm pretty sure I've shared this before, but I also wanted to kind of talk to you about how I personally set up my goals and my expectations when I set a goal. So usually when I set a goal, I make a huge goal that might be a little hard to achieve, but I try to put the expectations and the boundaries around it that it is still possible to achieve if I stick to my plan and also stick to my goals. So within that big goal, I break it down. I break it down into month to month, to week, to day, to hour, and going down to minute, because sometimes life throws things at you and you have to adapt and make changes to how you're going to proceed so you can stay on the path to your goal. So learning to be adaptable and go with the flow a little bit when it comes to your goal, that is also really good. But that only works if you've set up boundaries for yourself within that adaptability. Because saying you'll do one thing and be like, I'm never going to eat cake again. Great, that sounds like a good idea, but sometimes life throws situations at you and you have to make that decision. And if you choose to not have cake ever again and you can stick to that, that's great for you. But I know personally I can struggle with absolutist mindset, and sometimes I get really stuck in that. And when I have the opportunity and I am choosing to be like kind of a little bit lax in my eating habits and allowing myself to enjoy a well-rounded and things, I overindulge in those sweets. So learning to have a limit on what I'm going to allow. Like on my birthday, I typically allow myself to have cake. So I know that I'm going to go into my birthday with having a slice of cake. It doesn't mean that I'm going to eat the entire cake though. So that's where I drew the line. I put a boundary in it. So I go up to that boundary, and once I have that piece of cake, there is no more sweets in my day. Or, you know, that's kind of my mentality with it. But also with setting up boundaries with things, I remind myself of my micro habits. So micro habits and micro things that are going to get me to my goal. Sometimes making a decision like drinking water seems like common sense, but when you are really working towards healthy habits, you really need to make sure that you're drinking that water and making sure that you're eating constantly when you're supposed to be eating, and you're supposed to be eating the right things. So having all these little minute things that don't seem like a lot and sticking with them, they add up and they get you the distance that you need to get. Another thing I do is I keep a little journal or a book that I keep all my goals written down in it. And I actually share this with my husband specifically, kind of so he knows what my mindset is. And then I also write my measurements in here, my weight, and kind of keep a weekly vlog or blog written down documentation for myself so that I know where I'm at, and I can see those minute little things and the things that are changing, and that keeps me motivated. Seeing changes in your body and seeing changes in your weight, that's one of the biggest things that motivates me personally. So when I get to those plateaus, having this as a reference saying, oh, look how far I've come, really helps. Another big thing that helps me with getting towards and achieving my goals is having a strong why. And I know you probably have heard this before, and if you haven't, let me explain it. A why is a reason why you're doing something, and it's a motivator to keep you going. So on my first page here, I actually have written out why I am doing this and what are my goals. And even if I achieve those and are feeling good about those goals, like one of my goals is actually to be able to fit comfortably on a roller coaster again, because since having my child and gaining weight after pregnancy and all the emotional eating that I did and just not great health care of myself, I feel uncomfortable when I go on roller coasters, and also really would love to go back to Universal Studios and fit comfortably on those roller coasters. So that's one of my whys. My other whys are not necessarily a physical, tangible thing that I can measure, but it is a more of a mental state, like being a better wife and a better mother, being able to be physically able to keep up with a toddler is something that I am seeing as more of a difficult thing lately, but she is just a wild child, and she runs and moves and climbs and is all over the place, and if I'm not careful, she gets herself into pretty sticky situations that I often have to run to get her out of them, because blink of an eye, I fully understand all those mothers out there who literally, when your toddler's being quiet is when you panic, because you know they're into something they're not supposed to be into. And I try to keep her in eyesight all the time, but let me just tell you, she is quick. I have literally chased her and she still managed to get into trouble. It's just one of those things. I want to be able to keep up with her. I want to make sure that she is just as active as I am, and that I'm showing her by doing and not showing her what she shouldn't be doing and then setting expectations out for her to do the same. So anyways, those are some of my tips on making sure you actually can achieve your goals, making them achievable in the time frame that you want to do them, making them adaptable as you ebb and flow through your journey, and making sure you have a good foundation and that why. Those are the things that are going to help you get to achieving your goal, whether it is getting a better health mindset and healthy lifestyle, or it is creating and finding that time to be creative, or working on your mental health. Like, these are all great things that you can do. You just need to find ways to practice it in micro habits, and then with those micro habits, you're going to get to those big goals that you want. So I really just wanted to put this out here before the New Year's came, because I feel like often when the New Year's comes up, your brain automatically thinks, what are my New Year's resolutions? And I challenge you to not just make New Year's resolutions, but make a plan and come up with micro habits and micro things to get you to that big goal, whether it is whatever you need, like financially working towards debt and getting that paid off, or whatever. There's so many ways that you can practice micro habits in a big goal. Anyways, leave a comment down below. Give me some of your big goals that you have, and if you want to challenge yourself, even write out some of those micro things that you're going to use to get to those big goals. I challenge you, because I have a whole list of things on here, which I'm going to get into another video and kind of share with you guys some of the goals that I have for myself this year. All right, I love you all, and just remember, you can create your own magic anywhere, and I will catch with you some other time. Bye-bye.